and really stop and smell those roses because they smell divine. They do. It's crazy. I still come in and smell. I still do. Every day. I still smell them. Never did that before. The name, that was from my husband. We had initially had a different name, and we told one of our daughters, and she says, no, back to the drawing board. So a few days later, literally in the middle of the night, my husband woke me up and said, Verdure. Verdure? Verdure. And I could not pronounce the word. I said, let me mull on it. So for several days, I kept practicing saying the word. And then finally I got the pronunciation correct. And I said, we will use the word, verdure. But when we make the sign, I want a pronunciation underneath so everyone else can say it as, you know, a little easier than how it was for me. And that's how it came to be. The area of Bedford-Stuyvesant, there had never been a florist in the area, and a lot of times when I did need flowers, I would have to go downtown or over to Broadway. So initially my husband was kind of apprehensive because it was like, oh, it's near where we live, you don't want to work where you live. But I said, I think this is a really good, it's going to be a good fit, because I wanted everything simple, and this has blossomed into way more than any of us could have anticipated. It was taking a very big chance, but I figured now was the time to do so. Everyone thought we were crazy. We both had quit our jobs. We had no extra money. Like you said, it was the pandemic. Things were, but I figured this was the time to, when things are not as they should be or seem, this is the time to take a chance. And that's what we did. I was in retail, doing furniture for about 24 years. Then when the pandemic hit, just being home and tending to my garden, and that's all I was doing every day for about 2 months straight. Then when I went back into the city, when it opened back up, and day one, I realized this is not it. This isn't it. So I stayed in the city for a few months working. I knew it was no longer a fit. So I spoke with my husband and said, we really should think about, you know, just doing something for ourselves that's simple, basic, and it makes me happy. And he said, let's do it. The most difficult moments was, for me, the unknown. I'm used to a schedule and you do things as such, and by venturing into being a businesswoman at this time was very daunting, but it had to be done. And now the reward has been tremendous, and it's not the monetary. It's the family closeness. I never knew my neighbors here. I never knew anyone. I never knew anyone here. Now I know my neighbors. I realize how much of a community that this is. So I think that was the silver lining in the pandemic, was everyone got closer. Even though we had to still be apart, we got closer. I used to be very, I don't want to say uptight, but very, I don't even know what the word is that I want to use. But I was on that schedule where you got up 7:45, you was at the door by 8:45, you hit the train by this. So now I'm a little more into me, where I can at my leisure just get up, get the kids ready, and then leisurely walk around to tend to my flowers. And I don't even see it as a job. It's not a job at all. Yeah, I get to come in here and I get to play in beauty every day. I can't tell you how many times that someone's walked in here and said, I've walked past here 10 times and I swore I would never come in, and they came in to buy flowers for themselves. I cannot tell you how many times it's happened. Like, I'll never go in there. And then sure enough, and they buy it for themselves. And I love when women come buy it for themselves. They're like, today's self-care day. Self-care day. We get all the time. All the time. Come on, my dear, keep looking beautiful, because you're just doing your thing. Go ahead, girl.
Have a great day.
You as well. Thank you. I almost feel, I don't want to say it's like being on a mission, but you actually see people smile. And when they walk out the door, sometimes I'll peek just to see what they're doing, and they're walking down the block literally just staring at the flowers. So it's those moments. It's not the selling of this. It's just the interaction with people, and it's sincere. It's not an ad lib, like I'm selling something. It's just getting to know people. Well, for me personally, I don't want to say I'm grateful for the pandemic, but I think if it didn't happen, I would still be stuck in the same rigmarole of what life is, and it wasn't how it was supposed to be. And I think that's why, I don't want to say that's why the pandemic happened, but I think it gave everyone an opportunity to recharge, reboot, and rethink. Yeah, we do. Gave all of us, every single one of us. Think about that. The whole world had to just pause for a second. Everyone had to pause at the same time. Think about that. So we all just had to just kind of go in ourselves. Because we couldn't be around people. You had to go in yourself. Find yourself. Find what makes you happy. Because we're slowly coming out of it. With the spring, I don't know how to put it in words. I don't really know how to say it. The newness, the new beginning, the fresh start. Even though when things was dark and you didn't see hope, you didn't think what's going to be tomorrow, there is. And that tomorrow, it does blossom in color. In color.
And what has like kind of this new beginning meant to you?
I still pinch myself in the morning. I still do. It's good. It's really good. It's good. It's good. Closer to the family, I get to see the children more. It's good. It's good.